All right, House of Payne fans, hope everybody's doing well. We are here. Oh boy, we are here to talk about the latest episode. Now, believe it or not, my favorite parts were the Calvin scenes. And more specifically, his scenes with his dad. Yeah, his scenes with Uncle Curtis, or, well, his pops, were the highlight of the episode. Not the drama, if you will, in trying to hide Miranda's new man from anybody that would tell Calvin about what she's up to, but just the fact that for a moment we had, what is this, like what, the second episode in a row? Well, no, last week it was about that business stuff. Well, 2 episodes in close proximity where Curtis was no jokes and just doing some real talk. I liked it a lot. However, the last few minutes of the episode suffered from repetitive dialogue just to drag out the runtime, which I could have done without. So, as a result, I'm going to give this episode a solid 7 out of 10. I did enjoy it, but I do feel like that last chunk was unnecessarily dragged out. But yeah, this was interesting. So before moving forward, please take a moment. Hit that thumbs up button to show you like the video. And folks, with the recent upsurge in videos in the past couple of days, subscriber numbers have gone up too. I think maybe by the end of today, Thanksgiving, we should hit 299,000 subscribers, which gives me hope that if this momentum continues, we might hit 300K by the end of the year. So make sure you hit subscribe if you have not done so already. And without further ado, let's jump in. So the episode starts with Jasmine walking in the kitchen, seeing Janine getting ready for this brunch. And she's making fruit punch that, Jasmine isn't too fond of, because it's like, what about, it can't be brunch without mimosas. So, she's living her best life in college. But Janine says she doesn't drink, which I can't remember from the original series if this is a carryover, but I'm assuming that post her addiction, she's just, eliminated any sort of potential substance that could draw her into another addiction. So if that's the case, good continuity. But as someone who doesn't drink, hey, I'm all for the fruit punch. I mean, it's Thanksgiving and I don't have any alcohol. I have a bottle of Welch's sparkling rosé in the fridge. All right, so that's when hooty hoo Ella comes in with them cinnamon rolls, and as soon as I saw those cinnamon rolls, all I could think about was the cake testing episode where Laura came over to the house to, just double check with Ella to make sure they're still on for the cake testing, only to find her in the kitchen with Miranda. Yeah, making them cinnamon rolls. But yeah, everybody goes nuts over those. And it turns out Miranda was the one who called for this party or brunch, but she's late due to the fact that it turns out Calvin was running late when he was supposed to, she was supposed to drop off the boys at the condo, and then they make comments about Calvin always being late, and they ask how he's doing, and and Ella mentions how he kind of has his hands full taking care of both boys without Laura there. And Ella, told him, like, you know what? I will watch your boys pick one day out of the week, and I'll watch them then, because those are your kids. Which, I'm not saying Ella is not correct when she says this, but it just seems weird because based on, well, then again, time in this show is like a soap opera, where unlike Sisters or The Oval, you can easily track it by what the characters wear, as well as the time of day if it's light or dark outside. But in House of Payne world, between episodes, it could be days, if not weeks. So who knows how much time has, passed by. So it just feels weird for Ella to say this, considering that it almost seems like any other time the kids are over there. But I'm guessing that some time has passed since the breakup. So from there, Miranda comes in glowing, and I gotta say, I was like, Ella, I was checking out the dress and the hair and the boots and whatnot. I'm like, oh dang, like shoot, she had it on. Well, isn't that what they say? She had it on. And, well, the giggling gossip aside, just to get to the point, her new man's name is Javante. He is a former athlete who is currently an assistant football coach at one of the colleges in the area. And they met when she sold him a condo. And he has good credit. I wish I could say the same. And they've gone on a lot of pseudo dates where Jasmine understands it's like it's not a date. It's like you and another person are hanging out and the date vibes are in the air, but it's not like official. What cracked me up about this scene was Ella going, "Can you get pregnant on one of these pseudo dates?" I don't know why. The way the way that she delivered that Cassie delivered that line took me out. So that's when CJ comes in and everybody's hush hush, but he smelled those cinnamon rolls downstairs from upstairs. And he just comes in and takes them and then leaves. And Ella's like, "Oh, he'll be back. How do you know he ain't got no milk?" Again, it's the little moments like this that crack me up. But CJ, come on now. You got to take the whole pan of cinnamon buns. So after that, we go over to the condo. And Christian's watching TV, laughing. Junior swipes, just being an annoying sibling. Takes the remote, cuts the TV off, cuts it back on. Then they get into a fight. I got to admit, when they got into it and we see Christian, kicking his brother, I was like, "Oh, dang, okay, he got a little street in him." But then Junior grabbed him by the collar of his hoodie and then pulled him to the floor. Ah! And that's when Calvin came in to break up the fight and sends them both to separate rooms before Grandpa Curtis comes in. And, that's when he finds out about what happened. But to be fair, Calvin, hear out Christian. He started it. Well, why not listen to hear how the fight started before, out? Because I don't believe Christian ever starts fights because he doesn't seem to have that in him. Junior is the one who always starts stuff. But essentially, that's when we turn over to CJ over at his house. And Calvin comes over. So it turns out he was hoping Miranda was around in order to take the boys today. But apparently she's been busy nowadays. Like, it's been like a running theme. It's not much luck getting in touch with her. So this could explain another part of the hardship Calvin is going through because it's not all hands on deck as usual. Like Laura isn't around to help take care of the boys. And apparently Miranda is too busy nowadays with her man to take care of the boys. So Calvin's really going through it. So that's when CJ asks, like, "So how are you doing, man? I mean, it isn't just that you are no longer in a relationship. You were close to getting married and your fiance's gone." And he mentions how he's hanging in there, but in terms of getting back with her, there's no telling because he's texted and called Laura a bunch of times. But at this point, she's like, just, giving me space to heal, that kind of thing. So there's no telling if there'll be any sort of reconciliation. And he even goes so far as to say he's not as upset as he thought he'd be. Because as of right now, he's been thinking of Miranda more than Laura. Well, buddy, hate to tell you this, but so then we get Hayden and Jaden coming in and saying that the boys are fighting, and that's when Calvin takes them to go to the condo yet again. And from there, let's just finish up the Calvin stuff, then we'll go back to Miranda. So Calvin is over at the condo again with his dad talking about the boys and everything that's going on, the roughhousing. But, that's when Curtis brings up how back in the day, Calvin and CJ used to get in fights all the time. It's like, you were scared boy too, like Christian. That's because CJ was a lot bigger than me. So apparently they were roughhousing. But, being a father, Curtis understands that it's like, well, I mean, that's how boys get along. As long as the fighting doesn't get too rough, then everything is cool. It's like, I don't know, Pops, like 1 minute they're playing, next thing you know, they're fighting, next thing you know, they're good again. I don't know. That's just how it is. And he mentions how, like, there's no book on parenting or whatnot. Like, don't overthink things. Just calm down, love on your kids, and your instincts will guide you. Yet again, wise Curtis. I love it. So then the end of the episode, that's when Calvin tells Christian that his mom is downstairs by the elevator. And that's when, for a split second, I'm like, I wonder if Christian is going to let it slip up that Javante might, I hope Javante's there. Who's Javante? But that doesn't happen. So that's when Junior comes out, hugs his brother, tell him bye. It's like, bye, big head, bye, loser. And that's when Calvin's smiling. And it just goes to show that his dad was right. And that's when he tells Christian, you know what, hey, I'll go downstairs with you. And I don't know if Javante's down there, but either way, this was a good ending for the episode. Now, to go back over to CJ and Janine's, Miranda shows up with Javante. And they're there to see Janine because Janine has apparently been dying to meet him. But it turns out, oh yeah, CJ has this luncheon or something work related, so he's not here. And I don't want Calvin to find out about you yet. So that's when CJ comes from around the corner and sees Miranda, this guy, and he's curious of who is he and what's going on. And it turns out Janine is running late, despite the fact that he has to be at this luncheon, and she's over an hour late. So there's a lot of back and forth, and Miranda's like, wow, since when do you ask all these questions? I was just waiting for CJ to say, well, I mean, if there's a stranger in my house, I think I have a right to know who he is. I was just waiting for that. But then that's when we have Malik and Lisa and Melissa come in, and of course you have CJ and Malik who know exactly what's going on. Janine shows up late. It's just a lot of back and forth, repetitive banter. That's just the best way to put it. I'm surprised Jasmine wasn't there, to be completely honest here. Because I know that she lost it when Miranda showed her a photo on the phone of, Javante. But yeah, they pretty much put 2 and 2 together, and they go upstairs. And that's pretty much it. And that's when Miranda and Javante leave, because Miranda's like, because now she knows they're going to run their mouths to Calvin. Which, hey, fair is fair, right? But that is it. That is it. So let me know your thoughts on the episode in the comment section below. Oh, side note, Gwen, her name was still in the opening credits, which could indicate that, she will be back sooner than some people expect. So just keep that in mind, because if she was gone for good, her name would not be in the opening credits. So again, keep that in mind. But let me know your thoughts on the episode in the comments below. Like and subscribe, and I will catch you all in the next video.